guys. We are on episode 3. Look at us. Episode 3 already. We are just moving along, ain't we? I can tell you that today's going to be a little lengthy. I always pre-record to see how long it's going to be. And it was long. I'm going to try to modify this time, though, but we'll see. Okay, so today we are going to kind of step back from, land and property and all that stuff. And we're going to talk about something that y'all need to know. If you think about investing here, moving here, vacationing here, business trip here, you need to know about electricity. Okay? You need to know about how electricity works here. Okay, I needed to know, I didn't know, and I suffered the consequences. Suffered, man, I suffered. So, here's the deal. With electricity, okay, it's not just one system in Nigeria, okay? So it depends on your location, right? So they call it bands, okay? You got band A, you got band B, you got band C, you got band D, you got band E, okay? Depending on which band area you live in is how much power you're going to get every day, right? A being the most reliable, E being less reliable, okay? So A, if you're in band A, like I'm in band A, you're getting 20 hours a day of electricity, okay? If you're in band B, you're getting 16 hours. C, you're getting 12 hours. And D and E, you're getting 4 to 8 hours, okay? 4 to 8 hours. Now, listen good, okay? That doesn't always mean that you're going to get the hours you were promised, okay? It's just trying to basically say A is more reliable than E. That's it. That's all it's really saying. Because I'm A, and I have yet to experience NEPA bringing 20 hours, okay? Because if NEPA brought 20 hours, then my estate would only need to give me 4 hours of generator use, and my estate gives us 18 hours a day. So, okay? So when you're coming here and you find a house, you find that nice high apartment, 10 floors up, view over Victoria Island, beautiful, okay? I'm sure it's band A out there, so you should be good. But if you're somewhere else and it ain't band A, you're going to be salty. You're not going to be good, okay? So check your bands. Make sure you're in A or B at least, okay? Moving on. Okay, billing. In some places, okay, they're going to have individual meters, okay? Now, if you have an individual meter, that means that your electricity is tracked separately from everybody else. And they're going to bill you on what you use. And I always say on what they give you, because it ain't based on what you use. Because trust me, you would like to use 24 hours of the day, but they don't give you 24 hours of the day. So it's really based on what they give you. That's what I say. Okay. So that is about the best standing you could be when it comes to electricity. Is it's individual, okay? It's individual. It's just you, what you use. That's what you want to look for. But there's also shared meters. And a lot of people come and they find the place that they really like that's in an estate, or it's an apartment, it's a big apartment complex, and they don't realize it's a shared meter system where you all split the usage. So, if your neighbor's over here blasting AC all damn day, but you working 12 hours out of the day, you're not even home, you paying their bill. Your bill should be small, small. But instead, you reading it like, whoa, what is this? Okay, it's because it's shared meter. Or maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the one running the AC all day and your neighbor's never home, and now they're giving you the stink eye because they're just wondering, why is your AC on while you're gone? I don't know. But either way, it's shared. You guys are splitting. You're paying each other's way through. So just make sure that when you're looking for a place, you are asking, is it a shared meter or is it a separate individual meter? Okay? All right. Moving on. Now, another thing that people do not realize, okay, most times you are not paying directly to NEPA. Okay? NEPA is who brings the power. Everybody knows who NEPA is here. Okay. I've been hearing that since I was a little girl. We know who NEPA is. All right. But you're not paying directly to them. Most times, 9 out of 10, you're paying to a third party company. Okay. They call them distribution companies. That's who you're paying to. And what sucks about these companies is, let's just say NEPA's rate is 250 naira per kW. kW is kilowatts per hour. Okay. That's a decent rate. Okay. But if you're going through one of these third parties, a lot of times that's not going to be your rate. They be jacking the rates up. Like where I live, when I first moved here, it was 250 kWs. And then I recently checked and now it's 400 and something naira kW. So I'm like, oh, wow, y'all just doubled it on me, huh? I was wondering why my bill been higher than usual lately. I see why. So that's another thing that sucks is you got these third party companies and they be charging for the lights because I feel like I pay the same here in Nigeria that I paid in America when it comes to my electric bill, which is crazy. That's just what it is. So just remember, you're most likely going to be paying through a company. Okay. All right, moving on. Now, let's talk about backup lights because there's just so much to talk about when it comes to backup lights. First of all, no matter what, you need backup lights. It doesn't matter where you live. I don't care if you're in Leaky Phase 1, mainland. It don't matter. You need backup lights. It's just, unless you like suffering, you need backup lights. It's just what it is. So we're going to start with the first generator. Sometimes generators are small, sometimes they're real big, but I think we all know what a generator is. The issue with generators is they're loud, okay, they're very noisy, and then it's expensive to continue to put fuel in them because fuel is not cheap in Nigeria anymore. So I remember this place I stayed, it had a really big generator, which was nice. I was responsible to put the fuel in myself, and boy, it was just eating it up. It just seemed like every time I turned around, I needed to put more in. I said, my goodness. And it had a converter, or excuse me, it had an inverter too, but the inverter, for whatever reason, broke. So I had to just rely on the generator. But man, that fuel, it was expensive. Okay. But, anyways, next, second, inverter. An inverter is basically like batteries. That's what I say. They look like batteries, like car batteries. Now, I have seen this like futuristic looking converter in the house one time. I can't even explain what it looked like. It was real nice. And it was small, but it supplied more electricity, more hours of electricity than the big old battery looking ones that I had seen previously. So that was nice. But it's basically just a battery that charges off of your electricity. Like it recharges itself with your generator or it recharges itself when NEPA is supplying lights. And then when the lights cut, the converter comes on. And the thing about the converter is when you have a converter in your house, most people will wire it to supply you lights and lights only. Because if your fridge, your oven, your microwave, your ACs, your washer machine is all connected to the converter, if it says you was getting 16 hours, okay, you're going to get maybe 4 or 5 because those types of things is going to just run. It's going to run that converter down. So that's what that is. So second type is inverter. I keep saying converter, but it's inverter. And the third type is solar. Okay, solar panels, which is the best type. It's the best. Everybody knows it's the best, right? Because once you get it all set up and said and done, like you ain't got to do nothing. You don't have to put fuel in it and none of that stuff. You're just good to go. The problem is it's expensive. It's very expensive. So, if you can afford it, I feel like that's the best thing for you to get. But a lot of people can't afford it. So converter is the next best thing. And sometimes they're small converters, sometimes they're big converters, and they're not that expensive. I've seen some for a few $100, and I've seen some that were like $2,000-$3,000. It just depends on how many hours you want and how strong you want it to be. Maybe you wanted to carry your refrigerator for 8 hours, so you want to get a different type of converter. But, at the end of the day, it's up to whatever you want and what you can do. Okay. So, yeah, those are the 3 types. You got generator, inverter, and solar. And keep in mind, when you live in an estate like me, I live in an estate. It is a serviced estate. So like it's basically like an HOA that has amenities. That's basically what it is equivalent to. Okay. So in my estate, they don't allow you to have your own individual generators, and they do that because they're noisy and nobody wants to hear a generator going at 3 a.m. Like your neighbor got the generator going at 3 a.m. and it's loud as heck, right? Because they don't have a converter. Dang, because they don't have an inverter. But a lot of these estates, instead, they're getting their own generators, big, humongous generators that run the whole estate, and then they offer you a certain amount of electricity a day. So where I live, we're guaranteed 18 hours of electricity from their generator every day. That's what we're guaranteed. And then if we want to get an inverter, we can, to supply the remainder hours of the day. Okay, plus whatever NEPA gives us, because NEPA gives us a decent amount of power. Like I have an inverter, but for whatever reason, it's been acting up. We've got it fixed about 3 times. It's still not fixed. But I find that without me using it, maybe I'll have 1 hour where I don't have lights. And that's only once or twice a week. All the other days, all day long, I have power. So it works out. So yeah, you want to have two things. Like for me, I have a inverter and I have my estate generator. And when your estate has a generator, you pay a fee for that usage in the field that they put in it monthly, usually. Like every month, we all have to pay a fee because we're using the generator for the estate. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. That's clear to you. Basically, what I'm saying is when you're visiting, when you're moving here, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for estates that have their own generator that they supply 15 hours of more of power a day. Okay. You want to make sure that the place that you are renting, whether it's just for a few days, a week, or long term, that the house has an inverter so that you have a generator and an inverter, or the house or it has solar panels. Sometimes you can get Airbnbs and there's solar panels, which is the best. It's the best. You don't have no problems, So that's what you want to look for when you're coming here, because a lot of people don't know better and they get this beautiful, nice house and it has no backup at all. And we know how NEPA does. We here know. Y'all don't know, but we here know. So everything's going great until them lights cut. And you don't know when they're going to come back on, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, so quick recap. Can't be here all day. So when you live in Nigeria, where you're at determines how many hours of power a day you're going to get. Remember, you want to look for band A or B. That's going to give you the most power, okay? And if you are in the other bands, you better make sure that you have a generator and an inverter, okay? And an inverter. You want to have both because you ain't gonna never have no power. Never, it's not gonna feed you. It's just not, okay? So, whether you're moving back to Nigeria, okay, or you're investing in property here, right? Everything is not about just the property and the land and all that other stuff. Electricity is important, and where you live is important because it determines how much electricity you're going to get. And make sure when you're an investor that you're factoring in electricity costs, because if you're going to create your own estate, okay, that's managed by a company like me, just know that people are not going to want to live there unless you got certain things going on. Like if you don't have an estate generator, then you need to allow them to have generators, because some of these estates do not allow it. You're going to have to allow them if you don't have one. And if you do have one, you want to give them 15 to 18 hours a day. So you need to factor in the cost of the fuel you're going to use and the usage that they're using so that it's cost efficient for them and for you, you know? So hopefully this video helped. That's it. I see that I am under the time. The first time I was double where I'm at right now, so that's good. So yeah, that's it. See y'all later. This is Iffy. Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk with Iffy. Put your questions in the comment section and like and share, because I needed this information so bad. So bad. And I just couldn't find this type of information anywhere. And I'm sitting here giving it up for free, y'all. I'm just handing it to you so I can share so other people can hear. Because they need to know. Daddy December is coming. It's coming. It's real close. Y'all about to come here and tear stuff up and leaky. I already know. I'm just gonna stay home because of traffic. Y'all not gonna have me out here driving in that traffic during December. But I know y'all coming, so I'm trying to help y'all. So like and share. All right, guys. Bye.